This is March 24th, 2018. I'm Lawrence Watkins. I'm the President and Chief Operating Officer of Boyce Watkins Enterprises in the Black Business School. Here with our Jarvis Meetup, our dev teams over here. We have Matt Leota, we have Mike Flott, and Terrence Mack. Mike and Terrence, they are on a business trip right now to, where are you guys at? Mike, where are you guys at right now?
So we're in Pittsburgh, PA, at the NSBE conference. So it's the National Society of Black Engineers. And like I was saying before, it was a very empowering experience. It was actually my first time at the NSBE conference. And it's like, 12,000 super smart Black people that, it's super empowering because, there's the first large group of smart Black people that I've congregated with. I think you and Dr. Boyce facilitated. So, I appreciate that. And, I'm starting to see, more people like me. And it's very empowering that I'm not just one lone rogue nerd trying to do everything on my own.
And you got a convention center full of nerds.
Yeah, right. So, they're speaking my language. So it's really fun. There was actually the Bitmari guys were here. I know Dr. Boyce talked to him a couple months back. So he actually did a panel about blockchain and Black liberation. And it was actually pretty awesome. So I got to chat it up with him. I know Jaron's out there actually working with Bitmari right now. So I guess that's probably why he's not here. But so I made some great content.
Is he at the conference too, the convention?
No, he's in DC.
Oh, okay.
That would have been sweet if we got to connect in Pittsburgh. But so I mean, I made some pretty good contacts in different industries, namely, Bitmari, but also just like engineers, because I have a background in engineering as well, So I made some pretty good contacts and learned a lot about just how to leverage your power in the industry, like your worth and stuff like that. So it was very powerful.
Terrence, are you having a good time out there? Now, where are you located again? What NSBE chapter?
I'm with Region 6 and chapter.
That's right.
Palm Beach too, because I live in Orange County, which is in between. So I was out here with my company to recruit some engineering talent.
Oh, nice. I
think there's a good opportunity in the future, actually, to maybe have a workshop in NSBE and maybe have a digital underground booth out here.
You know what? I think that might be a great thing. I planned the 2004 Fall Regional Conference for NSBE. Back when I was in Region 3 in college. So NSBE always has a close place to my heart.
Yeah. Terrence actually brought up that idea earlier about, recruiting at NSBE and just having a DU presence. So we were here in full force, Terrence and I think we were the only DU guys here, but, we were here in full force representing for everybody. So.
Excellent. Matt, how's everything going in Atlanta?
Things are going well here. I just switched here to my headphones as my kids decided to get loud with their playing. So
you know what? That is amazing. I have never been able to get those types of headphones to actually work, with a microphone. Actually work with Zoom, properly. So, yeah, the little things that, just catch my eye, I have 2 external mics. I have all this big setup over here, whatever. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
And more importantly, we got some nice swag.
Got some nice NSBE swag. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's what I really came for, was the swag.
Right.
I got some t-shirts and pens and stuff like that. That's my favorite part.
Yeah. No, NSBE has some good swag. So I'm going to take a step back. You guys are the developers. That's not my specialty or anything like that. I think there's some things coming up with this Love Token stuff in terms of some marketing partnerships that we're setting up. Don't want to get too much into it in terms of what that looks like. yet. I don't know how much Charles wants to share on that front.
Okay.
But we have a really big opportunity to really expand the penetration of the love token. And I'll let Matt, take over from here in regards to the development and what needs to be discussed. So on that note, I'll pass over host privileges to him and co-host privileges to you, Mike. And I'll let you guys do your blockchain computer talk stuff.
Okay.
And with that introduction,
right. With that introduction, this isn't your first blockchain. This isn't your first blockchain meeting, is it?
No. Charles had me join a few of these. I think
okay, got you.
Third or fourth one that I've been in the last month or so.
Got you. Okay.
Something like that.
Cool, man.
Yeah. So, I know I shared an update with you, Mike. We talked previously about what you were working on the Love Token. So I did make the switch on the token blockchain over to gRPC and protocol buffers, and all that's up on GitHub now. And, it's working good. It's pretty impressive stuff that Google put together there.
Yeah, so I'm definitely going to hop back into the swing of things full force on Monday. I have an idea of how to implement this as far as, we've definitely talked at length about how we need to implement this. And, I'll be probably doing that on the flight. I had to take care of a little bit of business for my thesis as far as like getting some data scripts running and stuff like that. So I was completing that task, so I had to take care of that real quick. And then I flew out to Pittsburgh, and that's been the topic of the week. But yeah, so I have an idea of how to implement this, and I'm planning on knocking this out relatively quickly. We've talked, and it's definitely doable. So I'll probably bug you a little bit more as I get deeper into it, but it's definitely doable. So I think I told Victor like I'd be done doing that about 2 weeks from last week, and I still think that's doable because I gave myself a cushion. I'm glad I did.
Yeah. So, one thing that might help you is Trigrow forked token and implemented the Pheno token on it.
Yeah.
And I've accepted back a pull request from them to incorporate the Pheno token into the main line.
Okay.
So you can see that now up there on GitHub.
Cool. Yeah. So I definitely plan on looking at that and playing with it. Like I said, I've pretty much digested most of the code. I haven't seen the new changes that you've done, so I need to look at that. But I've pretty much digested most of the code, so I have the gist of how this works. And, I think it's really cool how you did it. So I think all that's left is to implement and see how it scales.
Yeah, so one of the things that Charles and I were talking about is there's a little bit of a chicken or egg problem with mining. Nobody wants to be a miner for a blockchain that doesn't do anything, and a blockchain that doesn't have miners doesn't do anything.
Well, yeah.
So I actually made a quick change to the code that I pushed up to address that. And now I've got it set up where if you submit transactions to the blockchain when there's the lowest difficulty, it'll basically, the node will just do the mining internally and not have to rely upon miners. That way you can sort of get over that initial setup. So now basically all we have to do is launch nodes, and it works immediately. And then as people are using it, if someone wants to start mining, then there's a reason to do it, and everything just goes from there. As the mining gets more difficult, the nodes stop doing it and the miners take over.
Yeah, that's cool. I think I definitely want to be an early adopter for mining for this chain. And I have some resources to throw at that. Like, I mean, I got a couple of crappy computers and some pies, that I can put on the network.
Well, one of the great things is that the mining is CPU based.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you've got a rig with a GPU or something like that you're mining Monero or whatever you want, your CPU is not being used at all. So you can basically run the CPU miner on this chain and a GPU miner on the same rig.
Yeah. Is it going by threads or how's that working?
Yeah, I mean, the way it's set up right now by default is it looks at the number of cores and the number of hyperthreads each core has, and then it allocates a thread for every one of those.
So
So,
I
like,
could
for
give
instance, on my machine, it's 4 core with each core having 2 hyperthreads, so it
yeah.
allocates 8 threads.
Yeah. So I could give you like half of my i7 and then keep doing my work, basically.
Yeah, you can even, we can, if we wanted to, we could put it in like a command line switch that can limit the number of threads it allocates and what have you as well.
Cool. Nice. Yeah. So, huh?
Is there like a client that could be distributed, and maybe you can get some members in the group?
I think.
The mining.
Yeah, the mining code's ready.
Yeah, we're kind of working on that as far as like I think it takes command line still right now, right?
Yes.
So yeah, you can put up a miner with command line if you download the code and if you pull the code and run it.
Yeah, I mean the most basic command line, you just basically point it to the node that with a -H on the host line, and so then it starts the node starts streaming pending transactions to the miner, and
Yeah.
and then the miner can either create blocks with no transactions just for rewards, or of course obviously add those transactions to the blocks as well.
So I think we may should look into writing a script to like compile that code and set up the miner just to get less like obviously I could do that and you could do that, Matt, but like if we want more people to mine, we might want to make it a little easy for them where you can just download an exe or something and then that'll compile the mining code and run the correct script to restart your miner.
Yeah, I mean, the build is set up with Maven. So, one thing you could do is you could just run the Maven build and then take the resulting compiled and just distribute it separately.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that would be cool. And then you have like artifact, and then you just like write a shell script that basically runs the command you want.
Yeah, I mean, or you can just run the command once, and then we can put up at a URL the compiled copy that people can just download and execute.
Yeah, that's cool. 'Cause I think that'll be a way to get more miners, especially because we can leverage this to the groups and say, hey, if you want to be an early miner on a brand new blockchain, like this is what you got to do. And I feel like people have, I have like 5 computers lying around. I don't think that's the average person that's going to be there, but like somebody's got some computing power that they can use, you know what I'm saying, or leverage towards this. So we could distribute the workload.
Yeah, and that's the best scenario. The more people we get on doing mining, the better, because what you don't want is some organization with thousands and thousands of mining nodes that controls everything, right? You want it decentralized. So just have it in people's hands.
Exactly. So I like the storage approach where, they have people who have their mining rigs, but, I could literally just say, here, you can take a couple of gigs off my hard drive, and that's the same thing, So, yeah, I think we kind of want to incentivize like you said, incentivize like the small time miners, because if it gets too crazy with, China gets involved with their big server farms, it definitely becomes centralized real quick. So Which, also if that happens, I think we kind of made it though too. So if big old farms are putting their resources into our code, that means we actually are worth it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's always a possibility. But obviously, the goal here is to try and keep something decentralized.
yeah. So,
So how many initial miners would you need? Do you want to start off with?
What's that? Sorry, I missed that.
If you had a wish of how many initial miners that you want to start off with?
I mean, it doesn't matter. The way the blockchain works that I set up, the reward goes up as the participants goes up.
yeah. I remember that.
So basically, everybody's incentivized to invite all their buddies. Because
it goes
from
up
my perspective, the more people who use it, the safer it's going to be. I don't like it. From my perspective, if you're going to be doing stuff where you've got parties that are controlling it, we already got that set up. I'm looking for something that's more decentralized.
So Terrence, it goes up logarithmically for address by the number of addresses. So basically, you have 1 million guys. It's what, 6? My logarithms are kind of weak right now because it's been a while. But
just count the zeros. You got it.
yeah, exactly. So it's basically incentivizing, the amount of people on the network, right, Matt?
Yep, exactly.
So yeah,
we really more the merrier is
yeah,
and it's not necessarily about more CPU power. It's about just more participants.
yeah,
right. It doesn't matter how big or small your rig is. Just get on and do it.
and I think that's the better approach because, we want a lot of CPU power, but that becomes centralized because, like you said, if I have a big old server farm, yes, give you a ton of hashes, but I control the consensus at that point.
Yeah, but we don't actually need a ton of power because the way it works is the difficulty adjusts up as the amount of hashing power goes up to slow the miners down.
Nice.
Now, the way that works in Bitcoin, there's a limit to the number of transactions that can go on a block. And that's why things get expensive and it's all about hashing power. But in our case, we have the ability to support any number of transactions in a block. So there's not a lot of incentive to make the difficulty really, really high, right? Because we can just keep stuffing transactions in a block. So in many ways, you'd rather have millions of people with, regular old computers than, a few hundred people with, server farms.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of set up a cool way. So it's really designed where anybody with any computing power can get in and be a real participant without, having to have a lot of resources.
So is there a cap on how many tokens can be produced?
No.
Overall? Because how do you prevent inflation?
Well, it's the opposite, right? As you increase monetary supply, it's deflationary, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, but the way you figure here is that the monetary supply increases at a exponentially slower rate than the intrinsic value of the network because the reward is tied to the log of the participants. So that means that the number of people using the network has to get substantially larger for the monetary supply to increase.
Yeah.
And so, you got to figure the difference between, 100,000 people using it and 1 million people using it, right? That's an order of magnitude. But that only increases the monetary supply by a little bit. Let's see, do some quick math. That increases the monetary supply by 525,000 coins. but you added an order of magnitude more people using it. So the value of that would be significantly higher.
Cool. Yeah, so I'm actually giving the guys on Facebook the opportunity to join in.
Okay.
So see if we can get some guys in. It feels good to be back, man. It's been a while since I've done one of these. I've been, like I said, I've been handling some business on the other side and just making sure everything's well rounded. So feels good to be back, man, and back in the swing of things. So I know Vic's out because he's had some stuff. So I'm hoping for his healthy recovery. And everybody else is out taking care of business. So see if I can get anybody else to join in. But yeah, man. So I think we're on a good route, and I think what you've been doing is pretty awesome. And I'm gonna get it cracking on my end. Let's let Justin in. You want to talk, Justin, and promote Justin, the panelist? So I think we're on a good path, and I think that if I can sit down long enough, I'll knock out this code and have it live pretty soon. What's up, Justin? So I think with some degree of this, I can do this with some degree of skill. I understand what's going on. We've talked about the whole network and Genesis node contract thing.
Yeah. If you decided to do it that way, because there was the other idea, which was to do it inside of the wallet.
Yeah, and we we talked, and so I still have my notes from our last conversation. So like I said, I've digested that, and I need to go back over that because it's been a little while. But yeah, I definitely think like you said, there's cool ways to approach this, and then I definitely want to roll up my sleeves and get cracking on that. I got a little bit of more work to do today for some thesis work, but as soon as I'm done with that, I'm full force coding on this. I'm gonna go check out some cool museums out here tomorrow, and then on my flight back, I'll probably be coding this.
All right.
So yeah. So
Justin, did you want to join in here? We lost him.
I think he clunked out.
I think he's here. He might be on stepped away for a sec.
Let me see. And then we have Chris Chapman. What's up, Chris? I wonder what's Lynn got going on today. I haven't heard from him in a few days. But I think it's good just to, reorganize, because I think I know Charles has been doing stuff in the background, and I know you've definitely been doing your thing, Matt. And Terrence has added some stuff to Scrummage, I believe. Is that what you were telling me earlier, Terrence?
I didn't add it personally. I don't know if Victor did, but we wrote up some requirements for the wallet. So we're trying to document all of the requirements for all the activity for the projects. But I need to update. I need to upload it. Yes.
So I definitely need to start looking at Scrummage and documenting stuff, because I haven't really been doing that. I've kind of lax with that sometimes, and I need to be disciplined about documentation, because I think Vic will fly to my house and stab me. And I mean, for good reason. I think that's his deal, and that's what he's here for, is making sure we stay organized and on track. And avoid the deadly scope creep. So,
Is there a code base for the wallet up somewhere yet?
No, because we haven't really tied it together. I have a rough wallet that when I was starting to learn this stuff, that I made around Lumens, that has a GUI, and I need to talk to somebody. I've been working on that a little bit. I need to clean that code up, but I think I'll make a repo so we can kind of have where I put like a GUI with just like a basic template, and you can add your code onto that for like token. Oh man, hold up. Am I still here? Because I think something said my internet is acting weird.
No, you're still here.
Yep, you're still here.
Cool. All right. So, I mean, I'll probably make a template so that you can, and basically what it'll have is like a couple of buttons that are like one's for token network, one's for the love token, which I guess maybe that'll be kind of like a ERC20 compliant kind of setup, kind of like Mu, where, you know, if you have token, you have all of that stuff. If you have ERC20, you have all the tokens that come with that. Does that sound like a good idea, Matt? Or
Yeah, I mean, I'm haven't really thought through wallet stuff so much. You know, I mean, I obviously played around with my own GUI wallet, but you know, being more of a back end kind of guy, I'm just kind of screwing around and not really thinking through what it should look like.
yeah.
Have you guys seen that one that I showed you? I think I showed it before.
Not exactly. I've seen the code for it. I haven't seen anything visual.
Oh, okay. Here, I can show it real quick. So, you know, I wrote this in Java FX. Now this is I'm not running a node right now, so it's not going to connect up to the blockchain, but it could. And essentially, what I got so far is just showing, you know, the time, both local to me in Atlanta and UTC. This over here, the little power button, is whether it's connected up to the blockchain or not. You know, you can do things like, you know, this shows the different addresses that I have for these 3 tokens. You can, you know, obviously generate your own keys and what have you. If you don't already have your wallet created, it does that. And then, you know, you can see your balances across the network. Right now, again, I got 0 balances everywhere.
So it's going to be like a pie chart. I think we saw this, huh? It's going to be like a pie chart, kind of.
Yeah, it was a pie chart. You know, and other basic things. You know, you want to make a copy of your blockchain somewhere. I mean, your wallet, and generate a new one. You can do all that. So that's kind of what I was messing with. And so this does connect via gRPC to the backend server, and you know, it functions. It streams over transactions and all that. I think I showed you it did the cute little matrix rain with the transactions.
Yeah, you did. That was fun.
Yeah. So anyway, that was the basic that I put together. I was probably gonna pop that up on GitHub as well, but
yeah,
you know, I mean, you know, we can obviously you know, add then the screens to, you know, send money.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure what else it should do.
Yeah, it's gonna be send. Like, that's pretty much what it is. Send and receive is the biggest functionality for Love. You know, we'll have some functionality maybe that's tied to the front end, like some JS stuff where we can talk and look at, like, you know, like I said, the number of sends, or like if you sent Love, like, then you can get more. We can talk about that, you know, more. And I think the implementation of the wallet, we can talk offline a little bit more about that, because maybe, like I said, I was kind of thinking, like, you basically done that. Like, so yeah, like what I was saying about the ERC20, you have all of them into one wallet basically. something
Yeah, I mean,
like
I
that.
set up the code where it could do multiple platforms. So,
Yeah,
and I kind of assumed that it would connect to each independent platform and so on and so forth.
yeah.
But I
So
haven't written it for any other platform.
yeah, so
I'm
basically,
biased.
yeah. So anyway, I think that, we can implement this like that, and basically what we'll have is like token network, and then all the code for the token network. I mean, you and I can work closely on implementing that into the web wallet, because that's like the most important. Right now it's token network / love. And then there's the Stellar, which I've pretty much worked on. I just need to clean it up a bit and take it off the test net and put it on RealNet. There's ERC20, which I'm gonna fork Mu and kind of fix that up a little bit and do that. So that's cool, and I'm looking forward to that because like I like to take that challenge on. So I'll probably fork Mu and like modify that a bit for
Okay.
ERC20 support. Uh, what else? I know Gyron's been working on Neo, so there'll be Neo support as well. And I've been talking. I know Andre is in the background. Hold up, let me see what he's saying because I'm trying to get him to join in because he's our GUI dude. So, maybe he'll probably be the better point of contact as far as making this GUI template.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get him in. I'm gonna actually message him the link so we can get him in. I really think my internet's clunking out. I'm not sure what's going on. I think I'm still here.
It looks fine to me.
Okay,
Yeah, we
good.
haven't seen you do anything weird yet.
Cool. It just keeps saying my internet's unstable, so let me just. I'll send him a link real quick. But yeah, as far as that, I basically will have a code base with, the template, and basically you guys can add on to, like, it'll have the buttons, and then it'll just be a JS button basically where you can add the functionality to the button that does what we needed to do, talk to our APIs and things of that nature. So, and that's pretty much how it's gonna go. That's the wallet in a nutshell. And so let's get our GUI dude involved in this. Boom. So yeah, Andre, if you're listening, I just chatted you a link to join in. Because he's in the Facebook chat, and I know he's talking, but he's not really in the groups, in the meeting right now. So send him that. Chris Chapman's in the Q&A. He said he works as an IT project manager. And Charles mentioned that he'll be working with the Archer group regarding the Love token. So, yeah. So, yeah, you're definitely welcome to help out. Get in touch with us, Chris. And you're definitely welcome to help out. The more the merrier. I don't really know exactly your full, but he said he's a project manager. I don't really know what your background really is, but other than what you just said, but we definitely like to talk to you. So Andre's here, so I'm gonna promote him. What's up, man? What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. I'm doing well.
Okay,
so what
cool.
are you thinking about?
Yeah. Well, I think your internet is bad on Zoom.
Who, me?
No.
Hello?
No, I think you're all right, Mike.
Yeah.
I think Andre, I think yours keeps freezing up.
Oh, it's me. Okay. You hear me now?
You can always
Yeah,
shut
man.
off your video if you need to get some bandwidth freed up.
Yeah, let me do that. All right. But yeah, I've been looking at the GitHub repository, and trying to figure out one, a workflow that I can work out a wireframe for.
Yeah.
So once we get
Oh man, we lost him. So Andre, there is I'll send you a link to the Git repo that I first started working on. It's kind of a crappy GUI, because that's not really my thing. But what I was thinking, and maybe we should take this, we should chat a bit so I can tell you what I'm kind of planning and how I kind of see this thing working. So I kind of had like a Bittrex feel to it. I don't know if you use Bittrex very often.
yeah.
So I kind of had a Bittrex feel to it where you have different like tables, like different rows on a table of different types of coins, and you could select those, and that'll take you to a different page where that functionality will be implemented. Like, so if you click the Ethereum wallet, it'll take you to a separate page where you can do your ERC20 functionality, which would basically kind of be similar to Mu a little bit, but probably will have some different functionality because I think there's ways we can make that better. And then we click on the token network, which is what Matt and I have been working on, and that would bring up a wallet similar to what he showed you, and we could do stuff like that. Jaron's been working on NEP5, so Neo. So you'd have a selection for that and a selection for Stellar, I guess. There's just because that's what the ones we've been working on. So maybe like basically the flow would kind of be like, I've been using the Laravel PHP stack, but I mean it can really just be a JS app. It doesn't have to be that serious. It's just that I mean, I kind of stole a lot of stuff from Bootstrap and stuff like that. So it's just, it's just a guy who's like Matt said, like we're two back end dudes who are trying to make front end stuff pretty. And yeah, so that's kind of what I envision as far as the flow. Would be just one main, like a login page, obviously some sort of way to get in to the wallet. And then, you would have your different wallets with your stuff, and you could click them and do the functionality for each separate wallet. And then, that could be a modular thing where, we add a new type of wallet every time, like every sprint or whatever. Like, it doesn't have to be like that, but basically it's modular. You just have a different, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So what we're talking about is, all right, so we'll have a login page. Then we'll have a page that shows a list of coins, and then a page that shows a list of wallets. Are we not doing, or do we need the coin page?
Well, so yeah, you'll have the list of coins, and you can click so that's actually a good question. I kind of maybe need to think about this a little differently. Yeah, so, and I've already implemented it like that. So basically, like, you'll click on Neo, right? And then every address that's tied to your account would list on that Neo page. And then you could click, let's say, address 1, and then you could do send, or you could get like a QR code to, you know what I'm saying? Like a QR code to receive it, something like that. And then you click on address 2, you could do the same functionality, but for a different address. So it's basically a table kind of setup where you have a table of all your addresses on this page. The page before that, you have a table of all the coins that are available on our web wallet. And then, yeah, so something like that. So like if I click on ERC20 and I have multiple addresses for ERC20, I can see all those on that page. And then every one I click on would be a different page specifically for that address, right?
Okay. Okay.
I mean,
I think I have a gist of what you're
yeah,
talking
so
about. Yeah.
you can look at my crappy GUI and laugh at me. I'll send you a link. But that's kind of the flow I like. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like where it's just a list of stuff and you can click on it and you can access that data and information.
Okay.
Cool?
All right. All right. Cool. I will take a look at that, and then I'll probably be reaching back out to you too.
Oh yeah, dude.
So we could go in depth with this. So yeah.
Definitely
Cool.
feel free to contact me about this, and I'll give you more direction. Because I'm seeing it in my head, and I have pictures drawn on my whiteboard and at home of kind of how I want the flow to work. So it's like a bunch of napkin scribbles at this point.
Yeah, it would be great to actually see that, because that gives me a more
Yeah,
a better idea of what you have. And I mean, I don't care. I don't really care what it looks like. It's just
yeah.
being able to see what's in your head.
Yeah,
So yeah.
we'll definitely talk. I'll be back Monday, so maybe we'll chat like Tuesday-ish, Wednesday-ish, and you can just hit me up and we'll talk about this more in depth.
Sounds good.
Awesome. So, yeah, I mean, that's where I see this going as far as the web wallet. And as far as the actual token live stuff, I think Matt and I are on target. Matt's been doing a lot more work in the background than I've had the chance to do. So, but
Yeah, so I think we're going to be ready next week to turn up nodes.
yeah,
And that's when we're going to really enable other people to start participating here.
and I'll hopefully have Love Up sometime next week as well. I have an idea of how to switch this over because of our conversation. So, yeah, I think we're on track. I think we're doing well, even though we kind of went our separate ways for a little bit. But I think we're still on track. So that's awesome. If you plan well, even if you do some weird stuff that comes out of nowhere, you still can stay on track. So yay for planning and yay for the PMs and Vic for, like I said, man, Vic's awesome. He's been putting me in a headlock and make sure I keep my eyes on the prize. So
yeah, so I know that Trigro's turning on a Pheno node next week for sure.
Awesome.
And then I think Charles is going to turn up a node for token.
Yeah, and I'll push up some stuff too as well. So I'll put some computers online and start mining if you want.
I can help out. I just need the client.
Yeah.
Well,
awesome.
That would be actually probably a step worth doing, is maybe grabbing somebody and going through the process of getting it installed and running, and maybe they can document that and make it easier for somebody else.
Okay. Actually, that's what I've been doing as we talk through these meetings. I've kind of been documenting different requirements, mostly for the wallet, but trying to put all the conversations on some type of document so we can get a record of it.
Yeah.
So I, like so many other developers, I'm terrible with documentation, but I can definitely tell you how to do it.
Yeah, so that's why I'm glad we have a good PM team and guys who are really into the stuff that we're not great at, as far as like documentation and having this stuff consumable for the average consumer. Because if you and I know how this works, that's one thing, just two nerds with keyboards, but we need some user adoption as well. So I think that's awesome. For you guys are a good intermediary between us code geeks and the rest of the real world.
Yeah, so as these things go up next week, I guess people can think about like how they want to participate. If they want to put up a node, if they want to, just get a wallet and send transactions, mine, whatever it is, and we can sort of work through getting people up, and then inevitably something will break, and then we'll have to fix it.
Yeah. So I've always had the luxury of a tech writer on the team. So, well, especially because I'm making the switch from like big corporations to entrepreneurship. So I'm learning the hard way that, those luxuries fade away really quick. So, yeah, I've been insulated from the documentation and all that stuff. You just talk to the tech writer and they make it all pretty and put some nice graphs and stuff on it and, send it out to the clients. And like I said, I don't have that luxury anymore, so I got to get more disciplined about documentation.
Well, we've been doing that behind the scenes. I communicate a
Yeah.
lot with Victor and Justin.
Yeah.
And
So yeah.
we'll try to translate what you've said. We meet and say, is this what they meant? And we write it down as some type of requirement or a scope statement. So
Yeah. Well, like I said, so I'm always accessible. I know you have my number, Terrence. Vic has my number, and Vic is definitely not shy about using it. So, like I said, if y'all need anything, have any questions, need me to translate something to English from Nerd, feel free to contact me. Andre, what I'm saying? I know you, like we talk, we're going to talk. All you guys are accessible to me because, I want this project to succeed. So, you're accessible to me, message me, get in touch with me however you can, however you need to, and we'll talk. And if I'm not available at that time, we'll definitely work something out and talk. So, don't feel like you need to figure it out on your own. I'm always here to talk. So there's that.
Cool.
So is there anything else on the agenda, or?
I don't think so.
Because I was napping pretty hard. So I think I might go catch me some more naps.
hey, rest up. We have activities this afternoon.
Yeah, man. That French toast put me in a sugar coma, man. You actually told me that was a bad idea, and you were right. I had Matt. I had some Oreo stuffed French toast or something from this diner. Wow. Yeah, it was good, but I couldn't finish it. It was too much sugar.
Sounds that way.
Yeah. So.
Well, all right. Well, enjoy everybody's weekend.
All right, man. I'll be in touch.
All right.
All right.